We're talking about concrete anchors, and we're going to be talking about the redhead concrete anchors in particular. And I'm going to show you, if you're in the United States, you can get redhead anchors at Home Depot. If you're in Canada, you can't. And basically how these things work is you drill a hole in the concrete, and then you drop the anchor in, and then you bolt whatever you want to the anchor. So if this is your anchor and this is the ground, let's say you're trying to put a safe into the floor and you don't want the safe to be moved, you can anchor everything in. I'm going to show you how. Now, the first thing you need to do is drill your hole in the concrete, and you can go whatever depth you want. In this case, these anchors are 2.5 inches. If you were to go 3 inches, then you'd be a half inch below the concrete surface. And then you can use a punch tool or a center punch, or you can buy this redhead anchor tool, and it's exactly the size of the anchor. So once this is in the ground, in the concrete, you put the punch tool in, and then you just hammer it. So now sometimes the anchor isn't in exactly where you want it. So in that case, you would take the screw or the bolt. We're using a 1/2 inch bolt. You hammer it this way until it's where you want it, and then you insert the center punch and you hammer that in. And what happens is that these wings will expand, and they will. There's a nut in the bottom that pushes down, and it expands these wings, and the wings get held into the concrete. This is what happens with a redhead anchor. When the nut gets to the bottom, once you've hammered it all the way in, the head will be flush with the top. In this case, I didn't go as far as I should. If you buy the cheaper Home Depot kind, they don't have a red head in them. They got a black one, and they're weird because they expand much wider than the normal anchors. And so if you put these in the ground, you probably won't be able to hit them all the way. You can use the same tool, but it won't be flush when you're done. If you've drilled a hole that's the width of this anchor, there's no way that you're going to get the kind of expansion you want. So yeah, the redhead anchors are better, and you would tighten your bolt with a socket wrench, and we're going to show you how in just a minute. We're going to be installing a safe. Okay, I got everything unpacked. So there's the one with the control panel, and then you've got the drop bolt, which is a big one, and then we've got the other box. So you want to line up the safe exactly where you want it on the ground. You can see there's 4 holes for us to drill, and you want to mark each hole with a Sharpie just to make sure of the location, and then drill with a hammer drill. The concrete dust, you should actually vacuum. Don't do what I did, which is wipe them with a wet cloth. But you want to get all the dust out of the holes completely. So take your hammer drill and run it in the holes again, just to pull the extra dust out, so that you know that you're at least 3 inches deep. And then you drop the anchors in to the holes. I did make quite a mess here because I didn't use a vacuum cleaner. If an anchor is not in all the way, you can use a punch tool to get it back. That hole needed to be cleaned out a little bit more. you can see I set the depth gauge on the side of the hammer drill. So once you've got the holes totally clean, then you want to drop the anchors in. We're still cleaning out some holes. So you drop the anchor in, you put the punch tool in, and you hit it with a hammer as hard as you can. You should probably use a sledgehammer here and not a normal hammer. But you get the punch. And if it's not into the depth that you want, you can also hammer it in with a bolt. Don't hammer directly on the anchor, because you could damage the threads. Then you won't be able to fit the screw in. So we're just checking. Now we put the bottom of the safe on top. You add some washers. I have 3 washers, a big one, a small one, and a lock washer. And I put the bolts through all of them. The lock washer going at the top. And then you can see we just bolt them in with a socket until they're as tight as you can get them. And then you want to check that you can't move the safe. It's not going anywhere, so we're good.